Intel just dropped a bombshell. Data center revenue grew 59% last quarter. Demand is still outpacing supply. The company raised its capital expenditure guide to $18 to $20 billion for 2026. This is not just Intel's story. It is a wake-up call for anyone building in tech. Intel's data center segment is on fire. Processors are flying off the shelves. The problem is they cannot make enough of them. This revenue surge tells us something fundamental about the market. It is not a temporary blip. We are in a semiconductor supercycle. Demand is structural, not cyclical. Every new AI application requires massive compute power. When a company like Intel reports a 59% jump in data center revenue, it means the physical infrastructure of the internet is straining under the weight of new software. The servers needed to run large language models and train AI systems require immense processing power. Intel cannot satisfy this hunger fast enough. This shortage creates a ripple effect across the entire tech landscape. It changes how startups must plan their infrastructure. It changes how investors evaluate hardware companies. The gap between what the world wants to compute and what the fabs can produce is widening. That gap is the defining challenge of this decade. To close that gap, Intel is committing serious capital. The company raised its capital expenditure guide to $18 to $20 billion for 2026. Spending in 2027 is set to be even higher. Chief Executive Officer Pat Gelsinger is cautious with capital, but he is willing to spend on tooling and equipment to boost capacity. This means building more fabrication plants. It means buying more equipment from companies like Applied Materials. It means putting more chips into the pipeline. But capital expenditure takes time. A new fab does not produce chips overnight. It takes years to build a facility, install the lithography machines, calibrate the equipment, and start yielding good silicon. When Intel commits $20 billion today, the actual output hits the market years later. This delay creates a predictable window of scarcity. The supply crunch is not going away overnight. For the next few years, demand will continue to outpace supply. This capital commitment is a signal to the entire supply chain. The tooling manufacturers, the construction firms, the materials providers all see a massive tailwind. But there is a twist to this expansion. Intel is also cutting roles in the data center group. They call it efficiency. New leadership is reviewing every business line. These layoffs are not a sign of weakness. They're a sign of discipline. Intel wants to hire competitively and trim the fat. When a company simultaneously increases capital expenditure and reduces headcount, it is prioritizing physical assets over administrative overhead. They are shifting money from middle management to manufacturing equipment. This reflects a broader trend in the semiconductor industry. The complexity of making advanced chips requires massive investment in physical tools. It requires fewer people in corporate offices and more specialized engineers on the factory floor. For investors, this means evaluating semiconductor companies on their capital efficiency. Are they spending their billions on the right tools? For workers, it means the traditional corporate tech job is less secure than the highly specialized engineering role. The industry is restructuring around the physical realities of chip production. So what does this mean for you? If you're a founder building AI applications, compute is your bottleneck. The chip shortage is not going away. Intel's capital expenditure will take years to translate into more supply. In the meantime, you have to survive the scarcity. You need to optimize your models. You need to use efficient architectures. You need to partner with cloud providers that have reserve capacity. You cannot assume compute will be cheap and abundant. It is expensive and rationed. Startups that ignore this reality will run out of money before they reach scale. You must design your software around hardware limitations. This means using smaller models, quantizing your weights, and caching results aggressively. It means negotiating long-term contracts for compute before you need it. The founders who win in this environment are the ones who treat compute as a strategic asset, not a utility. They build relationships with the cloud providers who have direct lines to the chip makers. They secure their supply chain early. If you're a freelancer or a student, this is the moment to go deep on hardware-software co-design. Skills in CUDA, ROCm, or even FPGA programming are gold. The industry is desperate for people who understand the stack from silicon to application. Most software developers know how to write Python. Very few know how to write code that maximizes the throughput of a specific processor. That skill gap is where the opportunity lies. When chips are scarce, the value of making a chip run faster goes up. If you can optimize an AI model to run on half the processors, you just save your company millions of dollars. That makes you incredibly valuable. The industry does not just need more algorithm designers. It needs engineers who understand memory bandwidth, cache hierarchies, and instruction sets. It needs people who can look at a piece of silicon and write software that extracts every drop of performance from it. That is the definition of hardware-software co-design. It is the most lucrative skill in tech right now. If you're a startup in Morocco or the MENA region, consider this. The semiconductor boom is creating demand for data centers locally as AI adoption grows. So, does the need for compute close to the users? Data latency matters. Sending data across continents to run an AI inference takes time and bandwidth. It is often cheaper and faster to process data locally. There is an opening for regional cloud providers. There is an opening for edge computing solutions. There is even an opening for chip design services. The global chip shortage forces companies to look for alternative supply chains and local infrastructure. Regions that build their own compute capacity will attract more AI startups. They will keep talent and capital within their borders. The boom in semiconductors is not just about manufacturing in Taiwan or the United States. It is about where the data centers sit. Building local compute is the first step in building a regional AI ecosystem. Intel's results confirm we are in a structural semiconductor supercycle. The winners will be those who align their skills and businesses with the compute hunger. Watch for the next round of capital expenditure announcements from other chip makers. The race for silicon has just begun.